Welcome to Michigan Reimagined, presented by Good Marketing and Wagoner Financial. And here's your host, Chris Buck.
Most urban areas have nodes of density and vibrancy that set them apart from the larger city as a whole, and Lansing's Old Town is one such node. Here to share the mission and successes of the now 30-year-old organization is the Old Town Commercial Association's Executive Director, James Lenon. Welcome to the show, James.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Absolutely. So I'm excited to talk about this. 30 years. Talk a little bit about the OCTA, right? OTCA, Old Town Commercial Association. Why was it founded? When was it founded? How was it founded? Kind of give us a little bit of the backstory now that you're 30 years past that.
Absolutely. So the OTCA was really formed out of a referred to as a scrappy ragtag group back in the 90s, a very small handful of individuals that were residents of Old Town, small business owners of Old Town, property owners of Old Town. They recognized some issues with disinvestment in the district, some perceived crime issues, a high commercial and retail vacancy rate, over 90% in the 90s at that time. So these individuals they really lived by that motto of see a need, fill a need. It's a motto that I've loved my entire life. And so they believed in the spirit of Old Town. They recognized the historic nature of Old Town, it being the first downtown of Lansing. Actually, the original downtown of Lansing was Old Town. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Formed out of the lumber industry. And so, which is our Lumberjack Festival is derived from that history and lore.
I've been, but I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, yeah. Always sharing history. But yeah, those individuals, they wanted to build back up, and they wanted to embrace a characteristic of inclusivity and a welcoming nature and a place where small business could thrive in Lansing. And so, and then the arts community as well. They go hand in hand with the growth of Old Town, the rehabilitation of Old Town. So that arts and creative community is right in there in the mix as well. So yeah, that small group, a lot of heroes in there.
Yeah, I can imagine. So now, have you seen the OTCA like evolve in its mission, or do you feel like at its core it's still the same thing, just kind of keep going and more and more?
Yeah, absolutely. Always evolving. It's exciting, actually. So we're talking about 30 years, 3 decades as an organization. We've been developing these campaigns as we ramp up to our 30th anniversary this fall. We're going up into the archives and we're digging through boxes and looking at these photos from the 90s and early 2000s and some of the original festivals and music events that took place back there. And it's funny, we made a post last week on our socials that there's a movement happening right now that's kind of the text is, hey, mom and dad, what were you like in your 90s? And then it scrolls photos and videos of what mom and dad were like in the 90s. And so we played on that a little bit as Old Town and shared photos and some video of what Old Town was like in the 90s and some comparative photos as well. And so that was exciting putting that social post together. But what was really exciting about it was the communication that happened underneath that post. We had a lot of community members that dove in and just shared their fond memories of Old Town and those shops and places that they had connection to as kids. And then we had folks that lived in Old Town in the 90s and still live there and recognize the work that has been put in place and like I said, those ragtag group, that scrappy group of individuals, the hard work that they have done through the years to build Old Town back up. And so So as much as it's changed, the exciting part is that it's stayed the same to a certain degree. It's still that inclusive community. It's still that welcoming community. And it's still that community that wants and hopes to build up local business. And so that's exciting. But on top of that, economic development, placemaking, marketing, we're growing. We're growing up as an organization. So when that happens, you have to evolve, you have to grow. So we're excited for the future.
That's awesome. Now, to get that down to some of the details now, are you a nonprofit? Are you part of Lansing city government? Are you quasi-governmental supported? What does your incorporation kind of look like?
Sure. So the OTCA, the Old Town Commercial Association's 501c3 nonprofit organization. We work very closely with the city of Lansing, city council, in initiatives that are specific to Old Town mostly. And then our sister organization, Downtown Lansing Incorporated.
Okay.
Obviously work very closely with them. They're a mile down the street pretty much. And so we are constantly working to activate our communities together and work in unison to give Lansing opportunities to experience itself, really.
Right.
So and then we work under, obviously, independent board of directors.
Got it. Okay. So your personal executive director paycheck isn't City of Lansing.
No, absolutely
right.
not.
Okay. Yep. So you are separated from them a little bit. Okay.
Sure.
Got it. So you're not a government employee.
No, not at all.
So then how are you funded? Do you get any part of city budget, or is it all fundraising? Is it taxes? How do you get your money?
Sure. So historically, the OTCA, this is one of the areas that we're growing, actually, has been known a little bit as the party planners of Lansing.
Yep.
And so a lot of the large festivals that came out of the city of Lansing happened in Old Town first. We have festivals like Festival of the Sun, Festival of the Moon. Old Town Oktoberfest was a massive festival in the early 2000s, 2010s. And through the years, I think the OTCA learned that concept being propped up by revenue specifically tied to festivals was not a sustainable design. Every year it seemed that as we look back in the history books, the OTCA was one bad thunderstorm away from a very bad financial position as an organization. So diversification, obviously. So we're funded through grants, submissions. We're funded through sponsorships and donors, which is a massive part of our funding. We're funded through our memberships, which really support our collective marketing efforts, that outreach to neighboring communities to draw people into our retail shops and to our businesses, to our restaurants. And then we're funded through the principal shopping district here in Lansing that ties DLI and Old Town together and works with the businesses that do business in downtown Lansing and Old Town.
So some of their taxes then go towards your budget.
Sure, assessments. Yep.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Got it. And you mentioned a couple of things. My next question was going to be, where does the funding go? Like when you get grants and all that kind of stuff, clearly there's capital outlay to host these festivals.
Absolutely.
And then there is branding and marketing and placemaking and some of those other things. Is that pretty much where the money goes?
That's a great start. Like you said, our grants are usually passed through. When they come in, we divert those funds and send them right back out to our local businesses and our small businesses, and then invest into the district itself, whether that be vibrancy efforts, wayfinding efforts, traffic calming efforts. It really runs the gamut of where those funds go. Donor and sponsor dollars. Sponsorships are obviously, what sponsorship money goes to.
Yep.
It gets their name on the signage, and it helps support those events and gets them off the ground. Our donors help support some of the behind the scenes work, some of our technical assistance programs that we have for our small businesses, networking efforts, things like that. And so, and then community cleanups. We just had one a few weeks ago that was a fantastic turnout. We had folks all the way from North Street up by Golden Harvest, all the way down by Motor Wheel Lofts at Saginaw and Cedar, doing cleanups. 250 gallons of debris and waste picked up just from Saginaw and Cedar Street by the Flower Power overpass. Alone that day. Wow. So we're really excited about that. Those things cost money. We're doing great work in the community, but it costs money to make that happen. So
makes sense. So how do you decide your priorities? You mentioned a board of directors. Do you have some sort of like a master plan or kind of we're here now, it's 2026, 2030, we'd love to have these features, and then do you revise that? Like, what's your process to decide the goals?
Yeah, sure. Our board of directors obviously make the final decisions on everything. And then we have 4 guiding committees. We have an organizational committee. We have our economic development committee. We have our design committee and our promotions committee. And so, and those committees work in everything from, I've mentioned wayfinding, I've mentioned street calming efforts, I've mentioned vibrancy. Economic vitality is business recruitment, business technical assistance, and offering opportunities to network amongst businesses and residents and commercial property owners in Old Town. And so those committees can work to point the funds in proper directions. And then just referenced a moment ago, the PSD is rather new to us. Principal Shopping District Assessment Funds, they're rather new, and we're excited to be able to utilize those funds to better our community. The framework has shown that it works, and that Old Town has been a responsible steward of funds over the years. But we're actually in the process the last few weeks of developing an advisory committee for those funds when they do come in. We haven't seen them yet, but when they do come in, we'll have a legacy group of Old Town business owners and property owners, and then new incoming business and property owners that we'd like to work with and help point those funds in proper directions.
And that should just help you get to your goal faster.
Absolutely.
I mean, right. And no, that makes a lot of sense. I want to give a nod to our friends at Good Marketing. Here at Michigan Reimagine, we tell stories of passionate Michiganders doing great things across the state. Today's podcast sponsor, Good Marketing, helps organizations tell those stories in powerful and measurable ways. As a behavior change accelerator, Good partners with mission-driven clients to inspire action, shift mindsets, and strengthen communities. From advancing affordable housing and protecting natural resources, expanding education and workforce opportunities, their work moves Michigan forward. See how they're helping shape Michigan's future at goodmarketing.com. That's GUDmarketing.com. Located in Old Town, Michigan.
Good people.
How about that? Yes, good with the, so you mentioned some off the cuff, you rattled off a couple of your festivals that are signature festivals and stuff. Tell everyone, what first of all, what's your website? And then you have an events page. Talk a little bit about your events and how people can find those.
Sure. First off, iloveoldtown.org.
Okay.
And we went with that because that's the normal response when people spend a significant amount of time in Old Town. They didn't know what they were getting into initially when they went to spend time in Old Town, but when they're all done, they're like, wow, I love this place. This is awesome.
iloveoldtown.org.
iloveoldtown.org. Right. That's the hub where you can find all the information on the organization, the OTCA, and then our upcoming events. And so the OTCA sponsors 13 signature events each year. And so that ranges from community events, family events like Chalk of the Town, which is coming up in June, to our large art festival, Art Feast, our Lumberjack Festival, our Chocolate Walk event, our Roper Romp event, and then come late in the year is our Krampus Nacht event, which is very quirky and weird, but we like to embrace the quirky and weird and the artistic in Old Town, and we really just roll with it, and that is one event that really does that. And
nice.
So
You still have Scrap Fest, right?
Scrap Fest still exists.
Okay.
And yeah, Scrap Fest, that's not counting Scrap Fest, Blues Fest, Jazz Fest, and all of the new festivals that are going to be activated in the Fish Ladder Music Park coming up this year. Yeah.
This is the first season for the Fish Ladder's refurbishment to be unveiled.
We are so excited.
That's going to be great.
It's going to be phenomenal. Community Foundation has just done a fantastic job with that space. It's gorgeous. If you haven't been there to see it, go get an ice cream at Arctic Corner and then walk to the Fish Ladder and just hang out for a bit. Sit on the swings, watch the river. The mural is amazing. It's awesome. But the festival's there, all types of music all summer long. John with Community Foundation has done a phenomenal job activating that space. We'll even have yoga every Saturday or Sunday morning in the park throughout the summer, and we're very excited for that. Free certified yoga instructors every Saturday or Sunday through the summer. The Lansing Yoga Project, we're super excited about that as well.
Awesome. And so iloveoldtown.org, is that a place where either sponsors or volunteers, I'm assuming you need volunteers for a lot of these things, is that right?
The volunteers are our backbone. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I was amazed. So I'm pretty new to my role. November, I came on with the OTCA. My first experience with an OTCA event was our Krampusnacht festival in December. So I had about a month ramp up to get my bearings and get ready for that event. We ended up having over 13,000 people attend that event. And I'm not kidding, Chris. The committee was made up of about 7 regular members. So 7 members planned a event that brought in over 13,000 individuals to Old Town. And the goal was 8. We ended up with 13. It placed us as the second largest Krampusnacht event in the country, second to only New Orleans. So,
wow.
Super excited about that in our scrappy little Old Town, district on Turner Street. And so, but yeah, obviously we had many volunteers show up for the night of the event.
Yep.
But when we're talking about help needed, we need help out of the gate when these events start being planned with our committees and with our small groups that are dreaming up these quirky and weird and wild ideas. We need help in that area too. But in 2025 alone, we had about 2,000 volunteered hours to the organization, to the OTCA. And I think over the history of the OTCA with Michigan Main Street, we've had somewhere in the range of 65,000 volunteered hours to Old Town. And I think when you put that time to dollars, I think it from our math, it works to over $2 million in value. And so we are so thankful to our volunteers, to our sponsors, to our donors that make all of this happen.
Now, you mentioned the Main Street America. Yeah, I know that organization personally, but most of the world probably doesn't. Sure. Talk a little bit about what that is, how you get it, that accreditation, and then what does that get you?
Yeah. So Main Street America is a framework that works with downtown developers and community managers. And it is designed to help rehabilitate or build up or support existing downtowns. The Old Town Commercial Association, we are a master level Main Street, which means that we have over the years lived up to certain standards that Main Street America places upon organizations to achieve that level. And so we're really proud of that master level. It's the highest you can get. That master level allows us to gain funding and new grant funds for our small businesses that are members under the organization through Match on Main programs and different Vibrancy grants that we can get through the Main Street program. But the framework I alluded to earlier with our 4 committees, the organizational committees, the economic vitality, the design, and the promotions. And so the framework works in those 4 areas to help guide downtown developers and community managers and builders to follow a proven framework that works.
Right on. Yeah. That's great. So Now, you said you have been on board only since November. Do you have a near lens as to, is it keep the ship afloat for taking over the other person's deal until you get your hands on the controls, or do you have a near-term vision that you personally want to inflict upon this organization?
Sure. I'm not a keep the boat afloat type individual. I like to hit the ground running. It was difficult with the OTCA, honestly. So many hats I wear every day. It's kind of funny, at one point I'll be doing photography for one of our businesses that needs content for one of their new products. And then the next moment I'm in a podcast, and then the next moment I'm working with BW on consumers on streetlights and electric costs and so many hats are worn in a daily in a regular day for me here at the OTCA, but first and foremost I wanted to create a more sustainable design for our sponsorships and our donors. We just didn't have a good platform that we were working with to stay consistent with those sponsors and donors. And so, again, that funding stream is important. And so finding a sustainable funding stream and staying in touch with those sponsors and donors was of high importance to me because I did recognize that concern of being one bad thunderstorm away at our most important festival.
Yep.
Which would place us in a pretty bad financial situation. And so that's first and foremost. The other is obviously just making Old Town a destination district. And it's easy to say, but it's really hard to do. Downtowns are in decline. They really are. Statewide and nationally, they aren't growing. And so to see Old Town in the numbers, see significant growth from year to year is super exciting. I live in Old Town. I'm a resident. And so when I look out my window and I see those parking lots full, every night or on the weekends, it's exciting. It's exciting to me. I know our business owners appreciate it. And so marketing Old Town in a way that makes it a destination, shining a light on our vibrant community, our inclusive community, and all the things that it has to offer. It's just such an exciting opportunity.
I can hear it in your voice, and it sounds like they found the right person for the job. Before we run out of time, I want to thank our friends at Triterra. Triterra is a leading environmental consulting firm headquartered in Lansing, but with staff around the state to serve your brownfield development, environmental consulting, and natural resource management needs. Since 2008, Triterra has been successfully advising a wide range of organizations to implement solutions to complex environmental challenges. If you're a business, a developer, a property owner, a lending institution, an attorney, or a governmental entity looking for a solution and you want prompt and timely service, don't hesitate to contact my friends at Triterra. Led by CEO and visionary Don McNabb and leaders J.P. Buckingham and Dave Van Haren, and supported by dozens of technical experts, you can't miss by calling Triterra at 517-702-0470 or visit them at triterra.us. So, we've unpacked a lot. You've got a lot going on. You're not bored.
Not at all.
It's a really, really cool space. In the few moments that we've got left, what are you excited about? I think I became aware of a few new construction projects or new developments, maybe some new businesses that are coming. I think there's housing. Talk a little bit about what's happening in the next maybe 12 to 18 months so we can get people excited.
Sure. So short term, Turner North Development has already broke ground. So you'll find if you go to Old Town on Turner Street, heading up to North Street, up by Ozone's Brew House, you'll see what was once a fairly blighted block. Is now in prep for construction for new residential housing. So we're extremely excited for that. That's underway. We have another development happening with the Genelozzi right next to Good Marketing, actually, and so that's coming to Old Town. And then MCC has some other developments in the planning stages for Old Town, bringing residential and retail space to Old Town. Super excited about that. And then the Fish Ladder Music Park, the activation of that space will be just a profound impact. I think it's going to be amazing. A lot of financial support was put towards that location, and so I think it's going to pay off for the community and Lansing as a whole. I really just want to take a moment to just challenge folks to love their city. I think and I don't know if you're feeling this, but there can be times of collective apathy directed to our cities sometimes. And obviously our cities have issues that need to be corrected and worked on. And it's really easy to fall into that trap of that negativity. But I really just want to challenge folks to just take some time, take a weekend, and go experience your city. I'm going to market Old Town a little bit because that's what I do. But,
of course.
But when I moved to Old Town, the first few months, we would spend the full weekend and not even get in our vehicle. And we were never in our loft. We never sat down hardly, and there was always something to do, whether that's to go to a craft bar and make a candle, or sit in silence at the tea house and just gather your thoughts, or go have the best barbecue in the area, some tacos at Pablo's or what. We have so much opportunity in Old Town to have fun and be excited about our city and be excited about where it's going. I just want to challenge people to do that and have fun with where we're at.
No question. Thank you for saying that. I'm getting fed up with the constant negative chatter. Anytime anyone says anything on socials, it seems like there's 100 comments about finger pointing and woe is me and things aren't good. And
it's easy to do.
It is.
And it's easy to fall into. And like I said, obviously there's things that need to be worked on and corrected. And we should work towards those goals and solutions. But at the same time,
work towards goals.
Yes.
Not just complain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then embrace what is already good.
Yep.
And so that's what I hope people in Lansing can do, whether that be in Old Town or downtown or some of the surrounding communities. Just embrace what is already good, work towards what we can do better.
Awesome. Let's finish on that. I really appreciate you joining me, James. So James Lenon, the executive director of the Old Town Commercial Association, iloveoldtown.org is the place to learn all about this wonderful node of Greater Lansing. And you've got an Old Town wherever you're hearing this from. You just need to go experience it, embrace it, walk into shops you've never been in before. It's the best part of life, in my opinion. My wife and I do it all the time, everywhere.
Thank you.
And dig it. So thanks for joining me here today. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks, Chris.
And I'd like to give a final shout out to all of our loyal sponsors: Wagoner Financial, Good Marketing, Tri-Terra Environmental, Keller Williams Advantage and Team, Michigan Rise, Kirk Byron State Farm, and the attorneys at Foster Swift. Great people doing great work. And if you found the show as a one-off, please like and subscribe to Michigan Reimagined pretty much anywhere you find your podcasts. This is Chris Buck signing off for Michigan Reimagined.